Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our 2:30 streaming show. I'm Jamie French.
And I'm Robinson Miles. We're going to start things off with something that is actually developing right now. This just came into our newsroom. 10 people have been indicted by a federal grand jury after a major drug bust. Now, we told you in February about 44-year-old David Neighbors being taken into custody during an Evansville-Vandenberg Drug Task Force investigation. Now, police say Neighbors and 9 other people have been indicted for conspiracy to distribute meth.
Now, Evansville police say the investigation led to them seizing more than 133 pounds of crystal meth, cocaine, guns, and a large amount of cash. So again, 10 people were indicted. We do have a list of all of their names on 14news.com.
Now, moving a little bit elsewhere, a new pit stop for those traveling along I-64 in Posey County. Officials at the Indiana Department of Transportation cut the ribbon on the newly constructed Black River Welcome Center. The rest stop is inspired by the boyhood home of President Abraham Lincoln. Officials say as the nation approaches its 250th anniversary, this new stop gives visitors an opportunity to connect with Indiana's role in shaping America's history.
Yeah, this welcome center offers vending, restrooms, a picnic area, a children's playground, and a dog park. The new construction is all a part of a $600 million plan to modernize 21 rest areas across Indiana. I think it's pretty cool because inside of there's like exhibits that you can learn about President Lincoln. So you could actually make, a pit stop on your travels worth it and educational. So it's very cool.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, for our last story here today, we seem to be getting a lot more of these.
Yes.
These, summer's coming stories, which I'm fine with.
Yep.
The Aquatic Center coming to Boonville is making progress. Mayor Wyatt says some old gas lines have been moved, and CenterPoint is making plans to bury utility lines. Construction of the pool is also moving along. The mayor says concrete has been poured for the bottom and walls. A fence is now around the west end retention wall, and concrete curbs have been poured for the sidewalks.
Yeah, concrete has also been poured for the floor of the spray park. Now, we do have a rendering to show you. Take a look at this. It's going to be a sight to see once it's done. The mayor also says that electrical and plumbing works have been going on all winter long, and they broke ground on this project back in August. It's a $19 million facility. Of course, there's going to be that Olympic-sized swimming pool that you can see in the top corner, 2 water slides, a 10,000 square foot pavilion. The goal is to have this open by Memorial Day. So today, our Gabe Pontonis is kind of getting an update on that project, getting a look at the progress so far. So we'll keep you posted.
Sold.
Yeah.
Done.
Yep.
Planning a trip to Boonville.
Yeah.
It is on. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, that's going to round out the news side of things right now. But of course, things are continuing to develop all the time. So be sure to circle back and join us for 14 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10.
All right, do not go anywhere because if you've been outside today, you know that it is hot. I mean, we've got some summer temperatures, record warmth out there, but that's unfortunately going to change tomorrow. So meteorologist Arden Gregory will have the latest on your forecast and the cool down just ahead right after the break.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory, and this is a live look at the Owensboro riverfront. Clear blue skies. You notice those flags there. I know it's hard to see. They're kind of small, but they're just whipping in the wind there as we have a strong breeze flowing in from the south, pulling warm air into the tri-state, and that combination of a southerly wind and lots of sunshine means it feels like summer out there today. We are already setting a record high, and we're going to climb a couple more degrees this this afternoon, but big changes are on the way. A cold front rolls through tonight. Tomorrow is going to be at least 30 degrees cooler, maybe more, with a good chance of rain, especially in the first half of the day. That cool weather will stick with us into the start of the weekend, but it won't last forever. We do then gradually warm back up as we get into next week. Let's talk about some timing here on these showers and storm chances here. So right now it is mostly sunny across the tri-state. I mean, we have essentially clear blue skies across the board, and it's going to stay sunny through the rest of the day today. So get out and enjoy the gorgeous weather this afternoon and this evening. Overnight, some clouds start to build in as a cold front moves into the tri-state. Look closely at the wind arrows here. You can see exactly where that cold front is located. I mean, I drew it on the map, but even if I hadn't, you could spot it because we've got this warm air flowing in from the southwest today that continues all the way into the middle of the night tonight. And then sometime very early Friday morning, we're talking 1, 2, 3 a.m., at some point you'll have your wind direction change as that cold front moves through, and our temperatures will then sharply drop. So it's going to be very mild all the way through this afternoon and the first half of the night tonight. And then all of a sudden that cold front moves through and we go from the 70s to the 50s very quickly as we get into the early morning hours of Friday. Then kind of lagging behind that cold front will be the rain. This will be a kind of broad, broken line of showers and storms that comes down from the north, probably starting to hit our far northern counties here, Wayne, Edwards, Wabash, Gibson, Pike, DuBois, around 5 a.m. or so, maybe closer to 6. And then that rain just kind of spreads south across the tri-state as we go through Friday morning. For the northern half of our region, that rain will largely come to an end by lunchtime, but western Kentucky will still have rain into early Friday afternoon. And then by about 4, 5 o'clock, everyone will be dry. The clouds will then clear out of here Friday night. And by Saturday, we've got clear blue skies and sunshine in the forecast again. So it's going to look a lot like today, but it will still feel dramatically different because notice the wind arrows, we still have that colder air flowing in from the north, and so it will be rather chilly to start your weekend. As for our thunderstorm chances, you'll notice most of the tri-state outlooked in this just general risk of run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. There is a level 1 risk that just clips that far northern edge of the tri-state. Really, though, any chance of severe weather, certainly any kind of significant severe weather, is to our north, stretching from central Illinois up into northern Ohio there. That area outlooked in that orange shade there for a level 3 for numerous severe storms. So this is where the storms are developing this afternoon and evening. Then as this whole thing slides south later tonight, it weakens out as it goes. And so by the time that rain reaches us, as we get into the early morning hours of Friday, it will have really weakened out to just run-of-the-mill thunderstorms, which is what we're all outlooked for on Friday. So if we were to get any stronger storms at all, it would be a very isolated chance just on the far northern edge of the tri-state for some gusty winds and some small hail. But overall, I really doubt we'll get any severe weather in the tri-state. That's why we don't have a first alert weather day. We just don't think we're going to have any severe weather with this. More than likely, it's going to be just rain and a few rumbles of thunder and a big drop in our temperatures. That's going to be the bigger impact, is the change in our temperatures. But there is a good chance of rain tomorrow, especially in the morning. Speaking of temperatures, we have already set a new record. The previous record was 81 degrees for Evansville. We set that back in 2020, so just 6 years ago. And we have already broken that record by 4 degrees. It's 85 right now in Evansville and Henderson, as well as Newburgh and Madisonville. And I think we'll probably climb another degree or 2 this afternoon. So we're looking at highs into the mid to even upper 80s through the next couple of hours still. Part of that is because we do have lots of sunshine out there, but really what drives our temperature is our wind direction. You can have a sunny day and it still be cold. We'll see that on Saturday. So the sunshine is helping to warm us up, but really it's this wind. It's very breezy out there today. Winds, 10, 20, even 25 miles an hour, but that wind is coming from the southwest. So it's pulling warm air from the south up into the tri-state, and that's what has our temperatures surging into into the 80s. We're still going to have that warm air coming in from the southwest for most of the night tonight, which is why it's still going to be mild up through at least midnight, probably closer to 1, 2, or even 3 a.m. Then as we get into the early morning hours of Friday, that wind direction changes. That's when we could maybe see some isolated showers and storms, and that's when we see our temperatures quickly going from the 70s to the 50s in the early morning hours of Friday. And then we'll just hold steady on Friday with temperatures in the low to mid 50s essentially all day long. Scattered rain, maybe a few spotty thunderstorms, but severe weather not expected. Still on the breezy side, not as windy as today, but breezy. Winds coming from the north now, though, at around 12 to 15 miles an hour, gusts closer to 25 miles an hour. And again, just like today, we're seeing that warm air being pulled in from the south. On Friday, cooler air will be drawn down from the north, and that's why our temperatures will be 30 degrees or more colder than they are at the same time today. Then as we get into Friday night, those temperatures fall back into the lower 30s. It'll be freezing Saturday morning, literally. We'll be down around 32 degrees. Saturday, sun comes back out, beautiful blue skies, but that cold air still in place, so our temperatures won't change much. Highs only reaching the low to mid 50s again on Saturday. But then Saturday night into Sunday morning, our wind direction once again begins to shift. Warmer air starts to flow in from the south, and temperatures will be back on the rise. Upper 60s to near 70 on Sunday. Then climbing into the upper 70s to low 80s for the first half of next week. It does seem like we may have a situation where we have a frontal system kind of stalling out as we get into next week, and as that front kind of wavers back and forth across the tri-state, we could see some very spotty rain chances kind of on and off through next week, and that could also cause some very slight variations in our temperatures. Overall, though, we are running warmer than average through next week. Let's check in on the comments real quick before I get into the extended outlook for Easter weekend, because I do have some stuff I want to talk about when it comes to the forecast for Easter. All right, good afternoon, Mary, Jeff, Jeanette, Zach. Zach is asking about severe weather during the first week of April. Yeah, it's too early to talk about any kind of certainty for severe weather for the first week of April. April, by the way, will start on Wednesday. So I already mentioned we've got that kind of wavering frontal system where we could have rain kind of on and off, spotty showers spread across several days. But really, to get severe weather more often, you would need a real driving force, a strong front, not one that's just kind of wavering back and forth. So I don't see a major severe weather threat with that, but we may get a few thunderstorms on Thursday, and I wouldn't rule out an isolated strong to severe storm Thursday into Friday of next week, but it's too early to tell for sure. I do want to talk about the potential for some active weather on Easter weekend, though. For some perspective, this has been a wild month. We have had lots of ups and downs, days where it's been very warm, and then shortly thereafter, we see this big drop of about 30 degrees. These 30-degree temperature drops, 70s to 40s, 80s to 50s. This is something that we've been seeing quite a bit of here recently, and that's what we've got going on again today into tomorrow, right? That usually comes with at least a chance of rain, but really, after the first week of March, it's been fairly dry. We haven't had a lot of widespread rain, and again, tonight into tomorrow, there is a good chance of rain tomorrow, but I think we'll pick up less than 1/4 inch, as many of us will just see kind of light scattered rain, and even if we do get some pockets of heavy rain, it would be brief, and most of the rain is going to be focused to Friday morning. Then we dry things back out again. Talking temperatures, though, notice we are running cooler than average Friday, Saturday, then we warm back up above normal again. And for the first half of next week, we're looking at temperatures climbing back 20 degrees above average again. As we have that potential for a frontal system, we may cool things back off a little bit as we get toward the end of next week, but the extended outlook from Friday, April 3rd, that's Good Friday, through Easter weekend still shows a trend of above average temperatures, but it also shows a trend toward above average precipitation. And I want to specifically look at the hazards outlook. And this map looks a little messy, so let's take it one part at a time. Let's clear that off and show just the green shades here. This is an outlook for the potential for heavy precipitation, and we are included in that. So the tri-state is outlooked for the potential for heavy precipitation from Friday, April 3rd through Sunday, April 5th. That's Good Friday to Easter Sunday. So all of Easter weekend is included in this outlook for potential heavy precipitation. I had mentioned yesterday we were watching this possibility that Easter weekend may end up a little rainy this year. We may have some egg hunts that have to be moved indoors or have to be done in the mud. Those may be your only two options this Easter weekend. I took off that other one because it looks busy, so let's switch back to that then. This is an outlook for potential high winds over that same period, Good Friday to Easter Sunday. Looks like the windier conditions will be west of the tri-state, but still we're kind of right on the edge of that. So again, what we're tracking here is this potential that sometime over Easter weekend, this is more than a week away. It's too early to talk about any kind of details on timing or threats or anything like that, but as we get into Easter weekend, there does seem to be the potential that a frontal system may move through, potentially bringing us rain, thunderstorms, and some gusty winds. Now, exactly when that would be, if there's, part of one day that we could maybe salvage for outdoor plans, it's too early. We just don't know that kind of detail yet, but I wanted to go ahead and give you a heads up. If you've got some kind of big outdoor plans for Easter, maybe go ahead and start thinking about how you would work up a backup plan to maybe move things indoors, as it does seem like there is at least a chance that we could be dealing with rainy and potentially breezy conditions this Easter weekend. But at least this year, it does seem like our temperatures won't be too terribly bad. We've had years where it has snowed on Easter, so at least it doesn't seem like it's going to be frigid, but it may be warm, but it may also be windy and potentially rainy or even stormy at some point over Easter weekend. So that's just something that we're going to have to keep monitoring. And obviously, as it gets closer and we start to have some more details, we'll bring those to you as we get them. But there's still a lot of gray area here, very fuzzy on the details so far for Easter weekend. So let's get through this weekend first, and then we'll really start focusing on how Easter weekend might pan out and how that might impact everyone's outdoor plans, because I know a lot of people do have outdoor plans, family gatherings, church events, Easter egg hunts, all kinds of things going on for Easter weekend. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Again, tomorrow will be a big change. It feels like summer out there today. It's sunny, breezy, very warm. Get out and enjoy it. It's going to be beautiful for the rest of the day today, but that cold front's going to move through overnight tonight. And when you step out the door tomorrow morning, it is going to be noticeably cooler, and our temperatures will then hold steady in the low to mid 50s all day tomorrow, and especially tomorrow morning up through about lunchtime. There's a pretty good chance of rain as well, but we're not expecting severe weather at this time. It will be cold Friday night into Saturday morning. Saturday sunny, but still on the cool side. Then we start to warm things back up, and then we could trend into a more active pattern as we head toward Easter weekend. So again, we'll have more details on Easter weekend once we get through this weekend. Let's take it 1 week at a time. All right. So once we get through this weekend, we'll really start turning our focus to what Easter weekend could have in store for us. All right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Meteorologist Michael Fecka will have an updated look at your forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10, and he'll have another streaming show here tonight at 9. So if you do have any questions, tune back in at 9, drop those in the comment section of the Facebook Live video, and Michael will do his best to answer those for you. All right, everybody have a great rest